Hey y'all, it's Erin Stern. It's that time again, question and answers. The first question comes from Kimberly. She asks, I've heard many things about post versus pre-cardio during workouts while trying to gain muscle mass. Some people say that it doesn't matter if you lift or do cardio first. Well, Kimberly, it depends on your goals. So right here you're saying you're looking to gain muscle mass. So usually what I recommend doing is whatever your focus is, whatever your goals are, then you need to do that first. So if you want to gain muscle mass, then I would suggest doing the weights first, because you're going to be fresh and you're going to have your concentration and everything. You're not going to be tired from doing cardio. So I would definitely suggest that. Now, in college, I remember we used to sprint and then we would go lift. But our goals were to run fast and jump high, and lifting was part of it, but it wasn't the most important part. So start with what your goals are and then go from there. Hopefully that helps. The next question comes from Jessica. She asks, I've recently started using creatine. When you're preparing for a show, when do you stop taking creatine? And do you decrease your water intake also? That's a great question. When I'm preparing for a show, if I'm currently taking creatine, I usually cut it out a couple of weeks before the show, and any water that I might be retaining from the creatine, I should get rid of it within those couple of weeks. I most definitely do not decrease my water intake, and I don't increase my water intake when I'm taking creatine. So you should be able to drink, about a gallon of water a day and still be okay. The next question comes from Kat. She asks, what's your advice for bouncing back from a slip-up in diet? With this silly season upon us, I'm trying really hard to keep my nutrition at 100%, but I've had the occasional slip-up and I'm feeling the effects of it. What's your advice for getting back on track and minimizing this damage? Well, for getting back on track, it goes back to your goals and having those goals out in front of you, and knowing that one day, one slip up is not going to make the difference of whether or not you achieve these goals. So don't beat yourself up, just get back on track the next day. And I would suggest, in your case, drinking more water and cutting out sodium the next day, just so you can kind of get back to a baseline, and knowing that if you're bloating or you've added a couple of pounds, that most likely it's water weight. So just be strong, and everybody slips up. It's just what you do afterwards. So stay tight to those goals and just take care of yourself and keep working hard. So, and don't beat yourself up. The next question comes from Robin. She asks, does your competition diet vary from your off-season diet? If so, how does it vary and why? Well, Robin, my competition diet varies slightly from my off-season diet. I would say just to maintain sanity in the off-season. I don't weigh out or measure foods. I may go 4 hours instead of 3 hours in between meals, but I'm still eating relatively clean. I may have more cheat meals in the off-season, but I'm still getting enough protein, still getting enough carbs, about a gram of protein, a gram of carbs per pound of body weight per day, and good fats too. Other than that, when I get close to a competition, I will measure the proteins a little bit. I won't use as much salad dressing or shredded cheese or, some of the other junk that we sometimes like, but it's important to stay close to competition diet year round, and it's something that you would probably enjoy doing just because it makes you feel good. The last question comes from Errol. He asks, is there an upper and lower chest workout, or is it just one muscle? I've been seeing just my lower chest expanding and nothing's actually happening up by the collarbone. Well, Errol, it depends on what kind of exercises you're doing. If you're doing mostly flat bench or decline bench, you're not really going to be hitting this area, the upper chest. So I would suggest doing incline bench, either with dumbbells or with the bar, even on the machine, and flies with either dumbbells or you can do it on the cable. And what I usually do to really hit that upper chest is I'll take the incline and I'll bump it up a notch to where it's just a little bit more of an incline than usual, and it seems to just really target this area right below the collarbone. So give that a try and let me know how that works. Well, thanks for the questions. Keep them coming, and until next week, train hard, y'all.